This week we're going to be studying database management in Microsoft Access. This is the first topic out of our textbook, but I don't want you to be concerned if you've not received a copy of your text yet, because I have scanned the first chapter to help you be able to complete your assignment this week. If you'll pull up Blackboard now and look under Unit 1, we're going to scroll down here and select Week 2 to look at this week's assignment. You will see over here about halfway down Acc01 Riverview. This is the name of our assignment. We're going to be creating a database for Riverview Veterinarian Care Center, and I think you'll enjoy this assignment. Let's go ahead and click on it. You will see the instructions here, and if you notice right underneath the instructions we have an attachment. Make sure each time you start a new assignment that you do save the attachments first, so you'll have them handy when the text asks for them. So let's do a right click on Kimberly. Mine says save link as, yours might say save target as, but let's save this file. Go to your documents. Underneath my documents, I've created a folder called AGRI 1309. This will allow me to save all of my course files in one location. Because we're starting a new unit, I also want to create a new folder for it. So let me go ahead and name this new folder Access. Going to open that folder and save the Kimberly file, which is our attachment. It goes ahead and open it, but we won't need it right now, so let me go ahead and close it, and we can get started on our assignment. First thing we need to do is now go ahead and open a copy of Microsoft Access. So if you'll go to your Start button, look at your applications and find your Access 2016. It should open to your Backstage view. This is where we do all of our file work. The cursor is sitting on blank desktop database, which is where we'll start. Your other option would be to open an existing file over here. Let me click on this. Access is different because it requires that we name and save a file before we can begin work. So coming down here to File Name, let's replace the database one with our file name, which will be Access Acc01, abbreviation of Access, _ and we're going to call it Riverview for the Veterinarian Care Center, and then _, and I want you to put your first and last name. There's a little folder at the end of the file name. If you'll go ahead and click on that, we can browse for the location where we want to save this. Clicking my documents, I'm going to find my Access folder. I see my Kimberly is already there, so let's go ahead and click on OK and Create. And now we're ready to begin. The basic building block for a database is the table, and Access is smart enough to know this, so it opens up the file to a table that it is temporarily named Table 1. We'll be changing this. A table consists of various columns and rows. We will call the columns fields, and we will call the rows records. And the first thing we need to do is create our field names for our table. We've got a plan for this in your textbook, and if you will flip on over to page AC11, you can see our plan for the 5 field names that we're going to be creating. Our first one is what we call our primary field, or primary key, and we're going to double click on ID. We're going to rename that Visit ID. That's a capital V, ISIT, capital ID. Make sure there are no spaces in there. Underneath Visit ID, there's a little new. Click that little space below it. And when you do, it pulls up this Table Tools menu. Across the way, you'll see a data type, and it says Auto Number. Currently, the Visit ID will have the Auto Number data type, which means it will assign automatically various sequential numbers. We don't care for that, so we're going to change our data type to short text. This will allow us to designate our own numbering system. Next field we're going to create by clicking to add, and we're going to tell it what data type. It will be short text. And we are going to be creating our second field name, which is Animal ID. And once again, no spaces. Our third field, if you click to add, will be a date and time field. We'll call this one Visit Date. Our fourth one will be short text. This one will be a reason. And then the last one will be different. It'll be yes, no field. This one will be off-site, referring to the visits, of course, whether or not the vet visits are off-site or in the clinic. You'll notice there's a little box here, and by checking the box or clicking on it, we check it. It will allow you to designate that yes, it is off-site. If you uncheck it, then it's a no. Let me undo what I've just done. After you have all those 5 fields entered, if you've made a mistake, correct it now. But after you've entered those 5 fields, just go ahead and put your cursor right underneath Visit ID. We're ready now to start entering our records. Our records will be the different rows we have here. And if you flip over to page Acc01, you will see that we have 8 rows or 8 records that we need to type in. That first Visit ID is 1072, and you can go ahead and finish typing the rest here by referencing that figure 111 on page Acc01. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, you can too, so that you can finish typing those records, then we'll continue. Okay, there we go. So we have our 8 records entered, the first 8 records. Mine may look a little bit different than yours because I'm one step ahead of you. What I want you to do now is we're going to save our work. So come on up here to the Quick Access toolbar and click on this little white disc. When you do, there'll be a pop-up window that'll prompt you whether or not you want to save Table 1. Well, actually we want to rename it. If you'll type over that Table 1 and type in Visit, then go ahead and save. It will go ahead and close your table. I'm going to double click to reopen it, and it will reorder all of your records according to the primary key or that primary field Visit ID. Now we only have one last step to finish the first half of the assignment. So I want you now to turn to page Acc01, and you will see that we've got 2 more records to enter. These are written in paragraph form. The first one is 1036, and then the second one's 1152. Go ahead and finish in those last 2 records, and then we'll close down here in a minute. Okay, so here are the last 2 records. After you go ahead and save this, if you will go ahead and use this little Close Visit X box, you can close it and then reopen it, and you will find that all 10 of your records are now resorted and ready to go. You are now ready to go on to the second half of your assignment, which is on page Acc26. And in that, it will allow you to create a query, a form, and a report. And those 3 icons will then appear over here in what we call the navigation pane. That will complete your first Access assignment, and you can get that submitted. So good luck to you. I'm looking forward to seeing your work.